We are live on 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, everyone. Hello, Willie. Hello, Larry.
Hello.
Hi, hi.
Larry's
Happy 4th of July.
Stars and stripes on the shirt, it looks like. I'm going to change later. I was like, it's like one of those hot days where I'm like, I'm going to wear my Marvel shirt in the morning for the spoiler show and then change into, probably a light colored shirt to hang out with the family on the lake and check out some fireworks.
Nice.
We got the parents got like a campground like an hour north of the city or further, so it's not the toughest commute, and then you feel like you're up north, so to speak, and they got a pontoon boat, so we can get out on the pontoon at night, which you usually don't do. It's kind of weird being on the water at night and seeing what kind of fireworks. I believe they say you can see a decent show from the water.
I did that one year out in Minnesota with so my wife's sister lives out there, so we get a chance to do that very thing. Pontoon boat on the lake watching fireworks.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
It's a Minnesota thing to do. Yeah, definitely. All the land of 10,000 likes, right?
Yep.
So we are here to talk Loki, and I put this up every once in a while. You clicked on a link that said spoiler show. I don't do this every time, but I think it's proper to give people a chance to say we're going to be talking about all things Loki up through episode 4, and there are a lot of big reveals during this episode, and it was a good one.
Yeah.
It was.
Do you guys have a favorite episode so far? We're only going to have 6 episodes, and we're 4 of 6 in.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
but you said that there will be a season 2, so
right,
there will be more.
Yeah, another 6 maybe. I think it's like a story like this. I don't know why they keep it so short. Maybe it's just easier to approve a budget for half of what you would usually see on a streaming service, or I mean, sometimes 8 to 10 episodes is typical, but prior to all the stuff lately, a season worth of television, many more episodes. Like the Bad Batch, I'm not sure if we're going to get like 16 or, animated show.
Yeah.
They'll do at least a dozen or more. So short season, but awesome show. We have the Nexus event for the title. What did you think, Willie? Appropriately named?
It was. Because I found myself having my own Nexus event by the end of this show.
What?
Because this show was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in a variant stage of yourself?
I feel like it. This show is making me question if I'm a variant or not.
Yeah, or change your mind.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a superhero fan, but I also claim many times when people ask me, well, excuse Larry, he's having a Nexus event. Larry dies on the stream.
Oh, no, he's been pruned.
We were hoping
went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah. I was saying, when people ask me what my favorite movie is, I usually judge it by the villain. And this show is bringing back my logic of choosing the anti-hero or choosing the villain as the person to follow. And Loki, like Agatha in WandaVision, it's been Loki all along. Like in the Infinity Saga. I just rewatched Thor, like Larry did, I think a week or two ago, and I'm like, he is right there, causing all this havoc, like in the MCU. Because wasn't Thor the first or the second after Captain America MCU movie? I think
it was the third, because it went Iron Man 1, 2, Thor, Captain America.
Oh, and Hulk is in there too that they don't really count.
Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 had that's cool. But it's early in the stage, right? And you know, so I just watched the end credit scene of Thor, and I'm like, yep, there's the Tesseract, and there's Loki being magical. So in this so back to our show, regular scheduled program. We get little girl Loki. She's playing with some toys there, and they decide that she's a variant for some reason, playing with her toys.
Yeah, I can't wait to figure out what that's all about.
Right? I like that they show the wolf.
Fenris.
Yeah. And just kind of a Viking boat, and
she's got a dragon and a Valkyrie that she's playing with, so that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, I think they show her a couple of times. And when I saw this shot, I'm like, I know who this actress is. Who is this?
I did the same thing,
and I had to look it up. I was like, I know I'm gonna be like, it's one of those things where once I see it, I'm gonna be like, oh.
I was a big fan of Walking Dead, so I was like, hey.
So you knew it was Judith right away.
What I didn't know is that is young Ray.
Yes.
The other Star Wars movies, yeah.
Yeah, when I looked it up, I was like, oh, she's young Ray screaming out when she's abandoned Tatooine. And then when I saw the Walking Dead one, I was like, oh, that's Judith also. So good on her.
Right?
I mean, a small little shot here, but at her age to be tied into the MCU, that's
seriously, she's been in Marvel and Star Wars.
Marvel, Star Wars, Walking Dead. Good properties to be attached. She needs to be in a Ninja Turtle movie, and she'll be all set.
Be young April.
Yeah.
There you
go. So yeah, that's kind of the beginning scene. They show a bit of Asgard and then focus on the girl, and we see a little bit of how Lady Loki or Sylvie will be arrested by Renslayer. So the hunter that walks in is who later becomes the judge. Her number's A23, and she takes the variant in, and they go through the whole spiel with let me see if I got footage. There's A23 in her hunter gear, and she made a mistake, but later gained some power. Oh, here's the shot of Asgard. This is kind of cool. New shot. I'm like, where are they? Oh,
yeah. When it came over and looked at we saw the palace, I was like, ooh. Now we get some answers, sort of.
Yeah.
Not really, though. We just know that she was in the palace, and she was supposedly a child of the royalty.
Yeah, and then Ravonna Renslayer here. We're getting more callbacks to, I guess this is Avengers 23.
Yep.
A23.
Yeah, that was pretty. I love how they do that. with the Easter eggs and the license plates and all that.
And so she's in this episode as Princess Renslayer. A little different. Wow, year 4978. Lots of property to cover in Marvel. It looks like new artwork. Pretty good.
I was going to say that doesn't look like that came out of that comic.
So I don't know if they're going to show here, but yeah, they take her. I think they show. Yeah.
And they never explained why they went and got her. Because she wasn't doing nothing.
Right.
Well, and I think Sylvie later on kind of tried to explain that she was taken only because she was born, that she existed.
Was a Loki.
Yeah. So that really doesn't.
It's like Minority Report, right? They go in and they have a potential crime that they're going to commit. So they're going in and pruning variants because, like in Minority Report, they would go back and like have a few moments before a crime scene, and it could actually time travel and then stop that from happening. And they don't even know what they did because they didn't do it yet.
Right.
But they take young Loki in here, and she goes through the same process. There's a different person at the desk. Casey wasn't there, but they show another individual getting arrested here, and she's like, "Help this guy out." She seems pretty innocent, and this guy catches it. He's going to show it here in this clip. The guy with the mustache is that guy.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
Oh, so now he's got a new job in his variant mode.
So they verbally said that all the people at the TVA are variants themselves, mind wiped and given a new purpose and just reliving tasks to take care of this so-called sacred timeline. So here we have some video evidence also of someone, as back when, this was a while ago, and then there he is working the desk job.
I never caught that.
I didn't catch that either.
Good.
That is good.
I watch some of these other review shows to prepare. So other things she goes through is the courtroom scene. Well, before that, she has to sign the papers of everything she said. And I don't know if the guy had the cat.
Well, the one review show I watched, there was no picture on the mug, but the mug was also turned around the other way. So I don't know if
he had the mug, and I think the corner was bare. So at some point, maybe it's just them showing that time is moving, but just at a different rate in this TVA. So, and then we have the other guy with the device that's like a gate that takes their temporal aura, and she goes through that, and then it ends up at the courtroom where she, I think, bites her Renslayer's hand and stomps on her foot, and like a Loki, steals the temp pad and escapes. We get all that. We can go over that. Hey, Agents of Mock. You can be in here? All right, we'll look for you. Yeah, there's the cat and the mug turned the other way. Here's the device, and here's the escape. With a different judge and Hunter Renslayer. She grabs the temp pad and outie. She figures out that running is hard to do from the TVA because everywhere she goes, later in the episode, she described as a Nexus event everywhere she ran. And I don't know, who knows how long it took her to figure out that having an apocalypse is...
yeah.
That escape didn't look too like they were really trying to stop her.
Right.
I know she's bitter. She spun her around.
It's a little kid. Yeah.
You didn't lunge for her. Loki had time to look at Mobius, turn back around, and still make it through the door. They didn't run after her. They didn't.
Right.
So I wonder if her being there is part of a means to an end.
Yeah.
End to the TVA. You know what I mean?
Good
Yeah.
question.
Or the beginning of the end. Like this is the first Loki that they snag and they screwed up. And that causes many other things. But the way they pick her up is like so Minority Report. I'm like, they really, like, what did she do wrong? Like, got another person in the chat. Elevator's not worthy. Hello. All right. We've got the escape, and Renslayer has to confront the timekeepers at this point. So we do early in the show get to see the space lizards. Let's see here. Got another shot here. Here she is in the elevator going up to. That's where I think she's recalling. Actually, this is more present day, where she's recalling what happened, and this is where she's going up. And we see this shot, very menacing and comic book worthy of these figures. We don't see that shot till later. Oops, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But yeah, they confront Renslayer, and then she comes back and talks to Mobius about a few things, including the hunter that was giving away the secrets. C20 was supposedly, going crazy, and she told Mobius she's dead. He wanted to talk to her and get more information. That'll lead to more truth being told, right? There's a lot of lies going on in this Loki show.
Yeah.
And some pruning going on.
I wish they had to show what the other guard saw. I can't remember what her name is.
Oh, yeah. The one that they grabbed Sylvie and went back to the Rocks Cart event. And yeah, that would be interesting.
Well, I think we saw most of that. Oh, well, they ended with what now, right? When they had that discussion in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's B-15. She's very distraught, and she learns that, Mobius casually says that Loki says everything. What does he say? Everything's fake. You're all variants. And it's slowly getting around. So it gets around to B-20, B-15. I wish they all had names, but I'm trying to do that. B-15. She goes straight to Sylvie in that. We'll jump to that scene, and since you mentioned it, Willie opens the door. Doesn't even really say something like, come with me. And I guess because she probably knows that the timekeepers are watching, goes to the apocalypse event at Roxcart. And what else do you remember about that scene?
And she knew if she took her there, she would have her power.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because she didn't have her power at the TVA, so that's what happens. She's like, show me what my previous life was. And
right.
She's like, oh, I looked happy.
and she learned from Loki that if she took her there, it wouldn't alert, I guess, the time watchers in the office that something was going on.
Right. Yeah, pretty smart. I mean, risky, but at this point.
And I was kind of, the risk that she took by doing that was that, Sylvie could escape again, but she didn't. And she was, I think offering an act of kind of charity to, show her past and open up her memories again, but then go ahead and go back to the TVA from there.
Yeah, but she still had that neck brace on.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know how much escaping she could have did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has that device, and yeah, it's funny that they maybe that's, I don't know, they didn't use that on her when she was a kid.
Right.
She got away, caused a lot of trouble. Well, let's go back to early in the episode where they show Lamentus 1. They're on the verge of destruction, right? And both Lokis are sitting there and just kind of know it's the end.
Yeah. And then they have the tender moment, and it's like, what?
Yeah. Well, she speaks about, remembering Asgard, and I mean, this is early in the episode, She says something about the universe wanting to break free and creating chaos. And, what the goddess of mischief is all about, chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of links into WandaVision a bit with her chaos magic. But what do they talk about? They talk about what makes Loki a Loki.
Yeah. Are we destined to lose or to fail?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Troy.
There's Troy.
What's up, Hot Wheels?
Little Hot Wheels.
You got a new tag now. Mr. Hot Wheels. Yeah, welcome to the show. We just talked about briefly the intro, and we're still right after the title scene where Loki is talking about what makes Loki a Loki and whether they're destined to lose. And our male Loki says, it's more about survival. He always seems to escape and survive.
Yeah, he said that Lokis might lose, but they will always survive. Which was pretty deep.
Yeah. And this causes a spike in the Nexus event timeline. They're holding hands and kind of looking into each other's eyes.
Yeah, that's just weird, man.
It's just really weird. So weird.
Talking about narcissism.
Yeah. That's how weird it is on the spike there.
So Larry, you wouldn't be fond of a female version of Larry?
I don't know. That's a good question. That is a good question.
Oh my gosh.
If she built Lego.
Here's my cat variant right here.
Yeah.
Cat variant. Oh my gosh, we're gonna see so many different variants. It's gonna get instead of this awkward, female and male like getting into each other, we're gonna see some real fun and craziness at the end. So we'll get into that. So after the spark of that Nexus spike, 2 time doors appear and they make their exit. They didn't think they were going to get away, but they did. The getting found out by the TVA. It doesn't really show them coming out and getting him. Somebody was like, "Why is there 2 doors?" I don't know. It just looks good. They often did appear like one door, a guard would come out, and another door, another guard would come out, and some of the other. So I don't really think that's.
I think they did that in the first episode, didn't they? Well, it's because they had other people jumping in when Mobius was in the church.
Yeah, or when Loki was standing on that rock and they're coming to get him there were like 2 doors. I don't know. They just have a team, right? They come in and get them.
So I was kind of puzzled by the whole, I understand the two Lokis, kind of falling for each other, kind of creating a weird event. But why is that such a big Nexus event, especially if it's at an apocalyptic event?
Right.
I mean, I was kind of like, okay, so how is this gonna screw up the sacred timeline if they're just
I wonder.
gazing at each other's eyes? And I mean, I'm like, okay, how is that going to be?
Still going to die.
Yeah.
I wonder if that will make them more powerful. And
good question.
I don't know. Whatever was about to happen would have been stronger than the end of that world.
Yeah.
So something could have happened. I don't know.
I don't know either. I was just puzzled by that. I'm like, why is that such a big deal?
Well,
maybe we'll find out.
I don't know. Maybe it's just close enough that the reality of they're looking for that, and then it happened, and that caused their arrest. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they get separated in the TVA, and Mobius is here talking to Loki, and Loki calls him folksy dope, and Mobius calls him an asshole and a bad friend, and they really have a on and off friendship that's pretty interesting here. Loki, so Loki gets one last word in. He just says simply that the TVA is lying to you, and it doesn't really sink into him yet. But they put him in this time cell, which is like a repetitive loop.
Yeah.
Sif kicking his ass.
So funny.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was really good.
And the time door torture memory.
Yeah.
He cut off Lady Sif's hair, and she comes in and tells him, that you're alone and you'll always be alone. It's kind of like the gut punch on top of the gut punch, the physical gut punch. So who knows how many times that repeats until he finally, kind of finds a way to.
I'm surprised he could still stand.
Right? Over and over. And
2 or 3 times ought to do it.
She is strong.
Well, I love it when they have an opportunity to bring, actors back.
Absolutely. I loved her as Lady Sif.
Oh, totally.
And since she's coming back in the movies,
yeah,
she'll be great.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe she had a part that got cut from one of the other ones too.
Well, I was kind of wondering where is she at this point, because the Warriors 3 were all killed by Hela, and so where was she during the Battle of Ragnarok? And is she one of the Asgardians of the galaxy, as it were, or is she in the new Asgard on Earth, or where is she?
Right, they're gonna have to explain it.
Yep,
for sure.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see more of the Warriors 3 and the lady. I forget the lady said. After the time cell thing, or Loki's kind of painfully getting tortured there, Mobius is talking to Renslayer later in the episode, and he wants to talk to Sylvie next. He wants to interrogate Sylvie, and she won't let Mobius in. He kind of screwed up here and there, and she tells him to work your own Loki. Work your Loki. Work your Loki. That should be my mantra.
I gotta say, Owen Wilson in this episode for the most for me, I felt like was a really good casting choice for this role, the Agent Mobius. I don't know, just this one episode, it really like hit hard for me on how you know, how good of an actor he was for the role. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was
It's the way he whispers.
Right, exactly.
Nobody can do that like
Yep.
him. And like I think I was watching something, and they said they love the way he yells and whispers at the same time.
Right. Yeah, he kind of says something. I don't know. He's awesome. So
yeah, I think he did a good job at displaying, the character, putting the pieces together without being like over the top, aha,
Right.
kind of thing. You could see him, he doesn't believe C-20. Well, I don't know if he believes that she was dead, but he didn't believe the story.
he didn't
You
believe
could tell he
she
didn't
went
believe that
crazy.
story.
Yeah.
And then when he wasn't allowed to see
She's been fine.
Sylvie,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and then when he's talking later, he's be in front of Sylvie's like lockdown area. He's like, why is this one so tough? We bring in Kree, Titans, and vampires.
And vampires, yeah. That was cool.
Why are the two orphan demigods the tough ones to bring in?
Mm-hmm.
So we get a little Easter egg of Blade is coming and vampires, which is kind of cool. And then the Marvel Universe is going to be getting pretty wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Put vampires in the mix. So let's see what's next. Mobius and Loki are sitting and talking. He goes, he's just going to talk to him now. It's like, have you been tortured enough? All right, like, what do you got to say? Are you ready to talk? And what is the deal with this Lady Loki? And he calls her Sylvie for the first time in front of Mobius. That's what she likes to be called. He's like, what are you, partners? What's going on? And he gives this lie.
I don't know why he came up with that lie. That seemed really weird. It kind of seemed out of place.
Yeah. Well, interrogation technique, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Separate people and tell them something and see how they react. So he reacts a little bit, and I didn't really see it, but he's like, you like her,
So to be more specific, Loki's lie, his story. I mean, Mobius is telling him that Sylvie died. That made sense to me because he was trying to elicit a response and see how he'd react. But the whole thing that Loki came up with about how this was, they met up on Asgard a long time ago, and this is part of the plan and all that. I was like, where is he going with that? Because I'm pretty sure he's got it figured out that he can't lie to Mobius. So that seemed like a weird part of the writing in that part of the show to me.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to save face.
Maybe.
Or just throw Mobius off or something.
Or he's just falling back into habit.
Or maybe he can't admit that he had feelings for her. Because he don't know how or something like that. So maybe he just talking at this point.
Yeah. He gets him to break a little bit, and he goes further into about timekeepers lying and that they're all variants. They've been kidnapped, they've been mind wiped, and she can access your memories, which I think is the part that hits home with Mobius, because he remembers those jet skis.
Yeah.
And
all makes sense now. the jet ski.
Yeah. All right. So, and we already talked about this, but this is where B-15 is quite distraught and goes to Sylvie and opens the time door. They go to Rock's cart. And, she says, you had a life before TVA and etc. At the same time, Mobius is closing the case file with Renslayer in the judge's chambers, if you will. And they have a drink, and they have that moment of, where would you go? Anytime, any place. And he doesn't quite bring up the jet ski yet.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that Renslayer brought up that question, and she kept asking the question like she really wanted to answer. I was kind of like, where is she going with this? Why does she? I mean, I don't know. It sounded like she was kind of testing him a little bit, but I don't know that she. I mean, at that point, she's not aware that Mobius suspects something's going on. So again, that was another thing that I was kind of like, why is she pushing that particular issue? Maybe it was just banter, but
yeah, I think. They have a relationship. They've done this several times.
Yeah. And maybe it's just to set up his answer later.
I wonder if he once they caught Sylvie, if they were gonna prune him anyway. Because he said that he had never seen the timekeepers at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Out of all these years.
Right.
But yet now that you caught them, you're invited into this room now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They were gonna get rid of him and them.
I think they're going to get rid of all of them. Very soulless.
Right.
Yeah, that discussion with Mobius and Renslayer, it just gets a little casual, and Mobius tries to distract her with the trophy wall, and she brings the sword over there, and he switches tem pads, which we don't really have. Like, why do you do that? But he grabs her tem pad, and he goes to the library and checks it out, and he finds a recording of the debriefing with C-20. And she's acting, exuberant about this truth that is, but not like mindless the way that she was described back there. But she's like, "You're all variants," and they're just like, "We got to hide this." So yeah, if Renslayer knows this, I mean, she must know this. She was like. And she had that shocked moment where she looked back at the camera like,
yeah.
Am I on film? Oh, shoot. And then she goes, let's see here. So she goes back to get, okay. This is where Mobius goes back to get Loki. He's buying into that. Something's wrong, and they have a quick discussion. It's do you trust me? How do I trust two Lokis? And anyway, Gaines is he's like, yeah, trust me, I'm your friend. But it was enough, I guess. He wants to change something. They go out from the time cell into the time theater, and Renslayer's waiting for them because she realized the temp pad was switched.
Right.
And
she had that extra drink without even realizing it by herself. I was like, man, if she waited that long to look at her temp pad.
Right. Well, yeah. Who knows?
But she probably had an extra drink or two without Agent Mobius or something.
Something. She got the guards, and Mobius knows he's in for it now. And he finally gives her the answer. What would I do? Where would I go? And he's like, I think I was a jet skier. So, man, and then he gets pruned. It's crazy.
Do you think by saying where he would go, he'll end up there?
Nah, I don't think
Because
so.
he wanted to make sure he said it real fast.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know that he knows once you get pruned. So we can get in that now. Once you get pruned, we find out that you kind of go to some trash planet wherever everybody's get pruned, or maybe all of the variants of your type get pruned, if that's what you're getting at. Like
something.
maybe he would go back to and somebody mentioned like on the last show or before, are we going to see like a bunch of variants of Mobius? Like
I was just thinking about that. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
That'd be great.
Like
That'd be so
sardines on SpongeBob.
I don't have that meme pulled up.
It's like Rick and Morty.
That's great.
Well, yeah, hopefully we'll kind of finally understand the process of what happens when you get pruned by the end of this series. I mean, we saw what happened to Loki, but who knows?
It looked
Who knows
like
how they direct them?
It looked like they were in New York City.
Well, based on the other trailers, it looks like that's exactly where it's at, a post-apocalyptic New York.
Well, sometime after 2015.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Uh-oh, busted.
And there he goes. I always thought that action, like it's not quite disintegration, right? Because
it almost looks like a portal, that Doctor Strange creates. That same
kinda.
like spark effect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They also looked like that energy, like they're basically getting energized. It's almost like the quantum wormholes too. So they're getting wormholed out to some other dimension. We can theorize based on the last shot of the end credits. Yeah, but where's he gonna go?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out at the next episode. Well, after Mobius gets pruned, Ravonna gets Sylvie, who's wet from the Rocks Cart talk with B-15, and realizes that B-15 had a chat with her.
I loved her look. That scene with her just like with her legs up and that like just like smug look. I thought that was such a great shot of her. Anyways,
so if I have that one. Yeah, I mean,
that's probably my favorite shot of her, actually.
She's smart. Yeah, she looked in control, even though she's like collared up and about to go get taken up to the timekeepers, which is what happens. So all Renslayer and both Lokis go up to the timekeepers in the elevator, and they have a little discussion in the elevator. Sylvie's like, "Do you remember me? What was my Nexus event like? What's the deal?" She brutally kind of shot her down and said, "I don't remember."
Yeah. And she had a smirk on her face, like I do remember, but I'm gonna say that I don't remember.
So does that mean that they were basically just collecting all of these variants just to fill up the TVA at the very beginning? To basically staff it.
That's a good question.
Oh yeah,
that's how I felt.
It seems like
if there was no reason that they grabbed her, then that's the only reason.
They keep pruning. They need to make more agents to stop more events, and it's a cycle of, and it's very like soulless, like I said before, and we see later that these are like androids. or something made these androids. It could be possible that Renslayer is behind all of this also. She seems to know the most truth and tries to hide it, and is the only one that's been up to these three, floating in their little chamber here. I'd love to make this out of Lego. This would be a cool little thing.
Right?
Red light. And the stairs would be cool to make. And
You would need a lot of fog.
Yeah.
a lot of what?
Fog.
Machine.
Oh, fog. Yeah, the fog is kind of part of it. It's dry ice. These
So
guys look
mysterious.
crazy. And yeah, they're in there having a chat. And let's see.
Coming
Yeah.
soon to Disneyland. Oh, sorry. Too late.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Basically, B-15 comes in and disrupts the show and gives Sylvie the sword. We have a little fight with some guards.
They didn't prune her though.
No.
Yeah, a lot of them are knocked out. They're all knocked out right here. And then she gets the kill shot with the sword. That was pretty badass.
Yeah.
It's there.
Well, so the other two start laughing, and then they just, like animatronics just kind of.
The Imagineering team is going to be pissed.
Yeah.
It was very Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even before you knew they were robots, it was very.
Yeah, they were a little bit too comical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they talk about it just briefly after this. Like I wasn't expecting this. What's going on? It was Loki all along, or it was Miss Minutes all along. I think like to have that actress voice the Miss
Tara
Minutes
Strong?
character, and that person could like be behind the curtain. Be interesting to see that.
I'm leaning towards Miss Minutes. It's whoever made her or whoever's using her or whatever. I think that person is connected with her. Whoever's in control.
We're gonna get Kang soon too, so we'll see that in Ant-Man, Quantum Mania, and man. So yeah, I mean they answer a lot of questions, but of course bring up a lot of questions at the same time with this kind of finale. And here's another touching moment where they're about to kiss again.
Yeah.
And our Loki gets pruned. And there were a lot like when Vision disappeared out of that one.
True. I didn't think about that.
Similar graphics. The Renslayer was knocked out. They didn't prune her, so she pruned Loki, and that is the end of the show until we get a mid-credit scene. Let's see if it'll stop on that somewhere in here. Oh, they fight, but yeah, she turns the baton against her, and she's like, "No, you're going to give me some answers." Then we get credits. So much to talk about.
So did anybody miss it?
Miss what?
Miss the end credit scene?
Mm-mm. No, I always watch.
Yeah, me too. It's Marvel. You have to.
I know.
Yeah. Spoiler warning. If you didn't watch the end credit scene, Loki's like, "Am I dead? Am I in hell?" And they're like, "No, you will be if you don't come with us."
Yeah.
And
I love the classic costume.
So on the right, we have classic comic book costume, Loki. And he's just so serious. Too. It's awesome. And on the left, I've heard this guy be described as boastful Loki.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have a black version of Loki also. He's got kind of a hammer,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of cosplay.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, yeah,
Yep.
these and the kids holding a crocodile with horns, that'll be fun. So we got Kid Loki. Go ahead, Troy.
I was just saying, the crocodile Loki, I don't think is based on anything from the comics, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
Or boastful Loki, right? That's new too, correct?
Boastful
right, yeah,
Loki is in the comics, but he's not black.
Okay.
Because there's a Loki with that same outfit.
Oh, okay.
There's our classic Loki. I don't know if he flashes a Kid Loki. I think he does in this video. Kid Loki is more, I think, more of a teen. I think so. This is younger, a different version with the hair.
Yeah, and that particular comic character, he does have animals are kind of part of his deal. So it's
okay.
That's probably the only reason why he's holding a Loki dial.
Loki dial.
I like that. So I think he flashes. So we're getting Loki into the Lokiverse next episode, and maybe we'll get explainers of why the Avenger Towers.
It's Mega Godzilla.
Yeah.
Torn down the city, and we're probably going to see this version of President Loki or something.
So my theory is that they're in his reality,
his trash planet.
Yeah, and after he conquers it, when he comes to New York, so he actually succeeds in conquering Earth.
Okay.
In 2012. And he becomes like the leader of everybody. And that's his world. That's just my theory, though.
Well, they also have, I mean...
The only problem with that theory is the Avengers Tower didn't look that way in 2012.
Yeah, that was... No, because that's the remodeled Avengers Tower, not the Stark Tower.
It didn't look that way until 2015.
Yeah, that's what Age of Ultron.
Because it's got the landing pad on it for the Quinjet and stuff, and that wasn't put on there until 2015 Age of Ultron movie.
Well, the other one had a heli or a landing pad, but yeah, it didn't have that shape at the top. You're right.
I think it's more of this variant world where somebody's got to rule that trash planet world, right? So I think it's just like another one of the Lokis that just wants to be the president, or they all want to be in control. But yeah, it'll be interesting because it seems like this team, this rogue team of Lokis is trying to save that guy. Is it?
Well, and it's
more
from some of the other trailers you've seen. Mobius coming back, and I think just based on the trailer footage, is that it sounds like the rest of the story is probably going to happen on this post-apocalyptic Earth, because you see Mobius in that scenario. You see him in that universe as it was, and they're whatever they're doing. They're action shots. There's truck racing around or something, and there's some other thing with a ship. Do you see that one with the big Navy ship that kind of lands on the ground somewhere? Like, you might have to search the internet for it, but there's a clip of like a naval ship being used in some way, but it's also in that same environment.
I got it. This is here's Mobius in this vehicle, and there's a Sphinx in like a field, And so that gets dropped in.
There's the
I
show.
want to say,
There's no place for a jet ski there.
right. I want to say he's in a different planet.
Maybe that's going to be the very, very end.
It's also very Philadelphia experiment is what they're getting at with this boat.
Yeah, there
it's
it is.
the Eldridge. It's the USS Eldridge, which they were trying cloaking devices in the Philadelphia.
Oh, right. That's what that. Okay.
And claimed that it disappeared in some green mist and came back. And this is them kind of having fun with the fact that maybe it was pruned.
Yeah, that's an interesting real life story too.
Really?
Oh yeah, you should look that up.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
There's a TV show.
It was a movie.
Oh, movie.
But
yeah, they
it
drop
was
it in
based
there.
on real life events.
Well, we have some things to look forward to. Yeah, it looks like this next episode we're going to see more apocalyptic looking trash planet, I want to call it, where they're all pruned, where everybody that gets pruned goes. And there's some spoilers of the next episode here in the trailer. And it's also somewhat reminiscent of a Secret War amalgam where you have versions of all the different Thors and versions of all the different Lokis and stuff like that. More to come.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can't wait.
So I watched a video today where they said that if you think about it, Morbius in the first episode said that time moves different there at TVA, right? And also, Janet Van Dyne said the same thing in the quantum realm.
Oh.
So it's not that far off to think that the TVA is in the quantum realm.
Oh, I'm absolutely certain it is.
So it's not like a time stream thing, more of it's a quantum thing.
The quantum pocket universe.
Right.
There's a small scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp when they're in the quantum realm, and Hank Pym is looking for Hope, or Hope, right? His wife,
Janet.
I'm sorry. And you see this like bubble city in the background. I think that is where they're at.
In the TVA.
Yep.
It's in that city. The TVA is in that little bubble city.
And what's funny is in the comic book, Kang had like a city or something in the quantum realm or something, or where he was from, or he had a collection where he was collecting things. If you look at that art picture of it, there is a Sphinx in that picture, pyramids in that picture, and everything. And they just show Mobius driving around these Sphinx and pyramids. So I think they're nodding or opening the door for Kang, which we know is coming. They might not show him, but this is our introduction to him. Could be.
We'll just see a side shot view of his face.
Right.
Like in the Avengers.
Yeah.
With a smile on his face.
Well, it's they're answering questions and causing more questions and opening more doors to more universes. And I was reminded that the next thing we have to look forward to in August
is What If.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that.
That's gonna
so
be
the
awesome.
Watcher's watching, and
the art looks really cool.
It's like we get this art is here's the Collector, here's a Tony Stark.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
There's a Doctor Strange episode where there's a couple of different ones. Oh, there's Wanda there.
Like a variant.
That's our last Chadwick Boseman thing.
And then Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
Going after Bucky. Nope. All right. Well, you guys, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
On a holiday.
Enjoy your 4th of July festivities.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Enjoy your barbecues. Don't blow off any fingers. Have a good time. And we'll see you next time on The Spoiler Show.
Cool, guys. See you.